Friends. Um, Before we get started, I want you to go get your writing web that we did yesterday. If you don't have that in front of you, go find that because we're going to use it today. Also, while you're getting this, get your pencil and a piece of paper so that we can start our drafting today. So I'm going to pause it, you pause it, and go get those materials. All right, guys. So, remember yesterday we were talking about the writing process and we were talking about how planning is the first step. So, we made a web. And remember, our question was, is it better to learn at school or is it better to learn at home? So, if you don't have school, if you have home, that's totally fine. Because remember, we talked about how we could have different answers, we could have different reasons, and that's totally fine. So, yesterday was the planning part. Today is what we call drafting. Today, we're going to use our web to start our writing. We're going to write 2 sentences at least today using our web. So, let's get started. Guys, if you remember, our question was, is it better to learn at home or is it better to learn at school? So, don't forget, we're still doing think it, say it, write it, read it. So we need to answer the question. So our first sentence should be what our answer is, if we think it's better to learn at home or if it's better to learn at school. So our first sentence is going to be, it is better to learn at. So we're going to have 6 words. So remember, we're going to start down here so that we give ourselves enough space for our picture. So we think it, now we're going to say it. Say it. I'll say it one more time and then you repeat it. It is better to learn at. Now you say it with me. It is better to learn at. All right, let's get started. We're going to start down here. The first word is it. And we're going to make sure we start with a capital letter because when we start a sentence, we always start with a capital letter. So it, we can all spell it. It's a heart word. Capital I, T. It. Finger space is. Is also a heart word. Finger space is. I-S. Another heart word. Better. Let's stretch that out. B-E-T-R. B-E-T-R. Finger space, what do we hear first? B-B. B. E-E-E. E. T-T-T. T. Er. Earth, earth, E-R says So, E-R. Now, we just stretched out better, and that's an awesome kindergarten spelling. What I'm going to do is I'm going to write the book spelling above it. You'll learn this when you get older, but you actually need to add a T. So there's 2 T's. So the book spelling is B-E-T-T-E-R. If you have B-E-T-E-R, totally fine, because that's an awesome kindergarten spelling, and you used all your strategies to stretch that out. It is better to, finger space, T-O, whoops, learn. Let's stretch that out. L-er-n. L-er-n. Now you do it with me. L-er-n. Finger space. Ooh. L. We just did and better. E-R-N. It is better to learn. Now here's another word that if you put L-E-R-N is totally fine. It's a great kindergarten spelling. I'm going to write the book spelling above it. It's actually the book spelling L-E-A-R-N. Now, we learned when two vowels go walking, the first one does the talking, but the word learn doesn't follow those rules. The A is silent, but it's actually a short E because it goes with the R. Not sure why, just the way it is. So let's see what we have. It is better to learn, down here, if you ran out of space, at, at. Do it with me, at, A-T. Now, let's see if we have all six. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's read it. It is better to learn at. Now, here's where we might have a different word. I put on my web that I thought it was better to learn at school. If you wrote down school, you're just going to copy the word school from your web and put it here. If you wrote home because you think it's better to learn at home than it is to learn at school, then you're going to write home. So I'm going to take the word school from this paper and I'm just going to copy it right here. My finger space, S-C-H-O-O-L. And that's the end of my sentence, so I'm going to put a period. So you should either have the word school or the word home here. So let's read it together. It is better to learn at school. And if you think it's better to learn at home, it would say it is better to learn at home. Now, here's where we start to use our web. Take a look at your web. Look at all the reasons that you have for school or home. I'm going to pick one. I'm going to pick friends. So pick one of your reasons from your web. I'm going to pick friends. And then what you do with that is you actually make one of those into a sentence. So whatever you pick, whichever reason you pick, we're going to make it into a sentence. So I picked friends. That's one of the reasons that I'd rather learn at school than at home, because I can see my friends. So I'm going to make that into a sentence. But first I have to think, how can I take the word friends and make it into a sentence that shows that that's one of the reasons why I like to learn at school? I got it. Here's my sentence. I can see my friends at school. Ready? I can see my friends at school. 7 words. If you have something else, then I want you to pause the video and think of a sentence that can go with the word you chose from your web. So we'll pause it and we'll wait. Friends, I can see my friends at school. So we're going to start a new sentence. It's the letter I, which means it has to be capital. I, finger space, can, that's a heart word, C-A-N. See, finger space, that's also a heart word, S-E-E, finger space. I think I'm going to come down here so that I don't run out of space. I can see my, also a heart word, friends, finger space. And if I look at my web, in case I forgot how to spell friends, it's already on my web, so I can just copy it right from my web. F-R-I-E-N-D-S. I can see my friends, finger space, at, heart word, and then school, which is right here. So I can copy the word school from my previous sentence. Finger space, S-C-H-O-O-L. And it's the end of my sentence, so I have to put a period. So let's read it. It is better to learn at school. I can see my friends at school. So we have our sentence that tells the reader which one we think is better. And then we have one sentence right now with a reason why we think it's better. So that's part of our drafting, the second part of the writing process. So tomorrow we're going to take more of our answers from our web and make them into more sentences. So don't lose this paper either. We still need our web and we still need this paper for tomorrow. Awesome job today, guys. Send me some writing, and I will see you tomorrow.